Good morning, good evening. I'm Paddy Delaney. I'm in London. My colleagues have now arrived in Norfolk Island, and I take this junction first of all to thank you for the kind hospitality that you have shown us already. Andre, thank you so much for arranging this opportunity. The purpose of this video is not to go and cover things that my colleagues are going to very easily sort of demonstrate and show to you over the next few days. And I would strongly encourage and recommend that as much as possible that you attend any of the meetings that have been arranged, and you're going to be able to get your own sort of insight as to how ReaStew works. But what I would like to do in this video is more cover some of the aspects of ReaStew that need to be covered. First of all, there's the question of how we all started. Now, what is very interesting is ReaStew started in 2008. It came about as of the world had gone into financial crisis, and as we all know, and it even affected Norfolk Island in 2008, everybody was in despair. I was at that stage living in Titirangi, which is a suburb outside of Auckland, and a group of us got together and sort of decided that, you know what, rather than just bemoan our lot, we would do something about it. And we raised the possibility that if a group of people working together, we could actually change our setup or change our social, economic, and political futures. And that's really how ReaStew started. And we had to come up with a name first. And ReaStew, as you will see from my colleagues, will demonstrate a video on it. But ReaStew is an acronym for Ripple Effect, Empowerment, Abundance, Life-Changing, Sharing, Transparency, Energy, and Wisdom. And at every time ReaStew has to make any decision that impacts policy or direction, we always come back to our ethos and say, how does this comply with our ethos as detailed in our name? The second point is ReaStew is a collaborative effort. It's a collaborative coming together of a group of people who believe that by working together on a common purpose and a common outcome, we're going to get a common benefit. And that really is very, very important in the whole of ReaStew. Now, in coming to the island, Norfolk Island, we have a scenario where ReaStew has, we believe, a solution to address a particular problem that Norfolk Island is confronted with right now. And we appreciate that it's a distressful time at the moment, where you're looking to find some sort of balance between your economic, social, and your political life. And we believe that ReaStew has that solution. And we would like you to embrace us. We would like to embrace you, and we would like to work closely with you and see what is, if it's possible, that a group of people, being the people of Norfolk Island and the people of ReaStew, and we number now 380,000 around the world in 191 countries. By us working together with Norfolk Island, we can give you the solution of what's currently confronted you. So it starts off by understanding that we are together. Now, ReaStew is a collaborative effort. 4,000 people or shareholders over the last 6 years have contributed the capital to get where we are now. Every 3 weeks we update the code. We've sort of done extremely well under the circumstances with the limited capital we've got available. But we see in future ahead of us some opportunities, and hence my reason why I'm now based in London, where the ReaStew today and the ReaStew tomorrow and the ReaStew after that is going to be materially different. So again, just bear with us. We are a collaborative network, and we're working on something which is going to be groundbreaking, we believe, not just for the folks of Norfolk Island, but the world at large. Now, what ReaStew does from a technical point of view, it provides you a platform where from one logged in position you can manage all your communication, all your information, all your money, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. So it's a cloud-based environment, and once you've sort of logged into your platform or logged into your portal, you will then access all the channels of communication that impact you financially, commercially, and obviously from a knowledge perspective. So I'm now just going to go to my logged in page. Now again, we have the corporate look, and then we have what I call the old new look. Now this is still my old new look. I have taken the liberty of putting up an image of Norfolk Island on there, and it's a beautiful place. And I look forward to visiting you guys in February at the small conference forum which is going to be held in February on the island. And I'm going to use the opportunity to see what Norfolk Island is all about. And thank you very much. Now, once I've logged into my page, and again, this is still the old look and feel, you're going to find you get confronted with a whole sort of array of different channels of communication. I'm not going to go into detail on that because my colleagues are going to be able to show that to you quite amicably. But what I like to do is sort of pinpoint or show you some specific aspects to the platform which is unique. There's a tab called the sharing tab. Now, again, in the spirit of transparency, you're going to have access to a whole pile of information as to how what's going on with the platform, how we're growing around the world, the eyeball traffic, how many applications have been subscribed to, how much revenue we're generating on the site, and how that revenue is being shared among the members. But there's two specific screens that I would like to show. The first of all is the global spread. Now, this screen has gone and taken a snapshot right now of where all our members are around the world. So at the moment, you will notice that we sort of spread as we are. We are spread in 191 countries. You would find that everybody seems to still be awake there in New Zealand. There's Norfolk Island over there, obviously the west coast of Australia. We've got a whole lot of people in Europe and the UK. We have quite a big following in India now, which is growing all the time. Africa and the west coast in particular over there, Gambia, Ghana is sort of growing very nicely. And we have a lot of people in America that are supporting us. We have a couple of people in the sort of South American countries as well. But that gives you an idea where people are right now logged into ReaStew and on the various devices. The next thing that I'll demonstrate to you is our transactions. Now, first of all, how ReaStew earns money is three areas. First of all, we make our money from the fact that members are subscribing to advanced tools that enhance the way you communicate and engage on the site. There's a lot of tools that are free, but if you do decide that you want to use more advanced features, then it could be whether it's e-commerce, whether it's a customer relationship management system, whatever the features are, those naturally you pay an additional fee for. Again, my colleagues will go through the pricing with you of that, but what you will find is that the overall price of using our services is substantially cheaper and more effective and more efficient than if you were to go and subscribe to the individual applications with different service providers. And that's one of the advantages, that once you subscribe to the one application, they dovetail into all the other applications. So it's not like a learning curve where you've got to go and reinvent the wheel and relearn as to the user interface. That's very important. The second area where we make our money is, or ReaStew makes its money, is from the curated ads that appear on the top of chat boxes, user groups, etc. Those created ads could be because of an e-commerce where you've gone and loaded a whole lot of products and services that you offer that is promoted obviously in the search area environment, but it's also promoted within the ReaStew ecosystem. And the last area where we make a transaction is fees, is in the transactional fee arena. So if we are able to match a buyer and seller for you of a product or service, then we would actually charge a success fee. So with those three areas of revenue, what we then do is as the money comes in, and I must make the point that right now we are earning money in 72 currencies around the world, but as the money does come into the ReaStew coffers, we immediately start sharing that money with all our members. Again, I won't go into too much detail as to how the sharing takes place because my colleagues will cover that, but basically it works on the principle that the more often you use the platform, the system has a way of determining a DNA link between how you use the platform. Your people that you interface and communicate with the platform are using the platform, and it keeps on spreading that over 6 degrees. Now, we have produced a document that Andre would be able to email you that gives you some more detail about that. But once you've actually linked up and once those transactions take place, what then starts happening is we start showing them on the site. Now, we demonstrate this in absolute real time. Now, what I've gone and shown you here, and again, you're going to be able to pick this up on the site yourself. The site has gone and picked up the last 10 transactions that have just taken place. So you'll see that we've just done a whole lot of transactions in the Indian environment, hence there's a whole lot coming through there. But as I say, we are spread around the world. But what it does is, as those transactions come through, it's pinpointed there's a transaction just taken place in India. But 42 people benefit from that transaction because it's not just done in the vacuum. You know, somebody has gone and decided to use one of the ReaStew platform transactions. ReaStew has gone and earned revenue as a result of that. and we now share that in terms of our collaborative sharing model with all our members. So what you would find happened is that if a transaction has occurred where £5, let's say, or $5 or €5 or whatever the case is, has been earned by the site, it takes that money and we start splitting it. Now that one that's just shown there in particular, there's a transaction just taken place in West Africa for £5, and it's caused a whole lot of splits to take place. So we've gone and shared that money with up to 42 people. Now why this is hugely significant is that you have a scenario where Norfolk Island has got 1,900 odd people. Now we are about to implement a solution on the island with your support, whereby you're going to be able to first and foremost set up a communication portal where the whole island can communicate and engage. There's user groups, there's different channels, but let us say the island's now connected, and somebody happens, let's say maybe the child has just gone missing in the island, then through one message, the message can get around straight away out in the island to go and look for Susie that's gone missing. So it's a fantastic tool for the island itself to keep in contact and to really bind together as a community as you are already. But what it does is it's not just the fact that the community has linked up. The community is part of a much bigger world. So the system now links you through 6 degrees of separation to the rest of the world. So you would link to Australia, you would link to America, you would link to 200 countries around the world based on where members are currently located. So you would also find that as visitors come to the island, and you get 25,000 people I believe a year are tourists coming to the island, and as they start using the ReaStew platform, because it's an obvious thing that they should do while they're on the island to gather what's happening with special events in the island, when they now leave and they go back to their countries where they come from, what you've gone and done is you've actually moved them into that territory as they start interfacing with people on the island, interface with people in the countries where they're located from. It starts creating this sort of spider web of linkages. Now we have a unique situation, where, and I'll just stop running the screen at the moment. We have a situation that, let's just say, you've got 1,900 people in Norfolk Island that are now starting to use it, and you naturally start connecting to people around the world. There are 7.5 billion people in the world. Now, what we've really gone and done, and that's hence the reason why the t-shirts read that Norfolk is the center of the universe, is that we are now taking Norfolk Island and linking Norfolk Island to the whole world. So first and foremost, you're linked on the island itself, but you're linking to the whole world. Now, when you consider that every time anybody in the world clicks on any of our ads or clicks on any of the members around the world, which is growing all the time, start subscribing to use any of our services, which are cost effective, they're very efficient to use, and they start using all these services, that results in money being earned. What's going to happen is a portion of that money is spread through 6 degrees of separation plus another whole lot of links, what we call the mentable links, and you're going to end up with 42 people benefiting from that money. Now, there's a very high chance that of those 42 people, a number of them would be people that live on Norfolk Island, for the simple reason that this is where we are starting the main thrust of the spread of the ReaStew platform. Fiona will cover that in a bit more detail with you in the course of discussions when you go to the meetings, and Andre will share that vision with you as well. But what we already have gone and done is we're positioning Norfolk Island to be the center of the world and the center of the universe. Now, as it starts spreading, what you're going to be able to do, and I'm going to now open that sharing screen again, what we're going to be able to do is identify out of all the members in ReaStew who is a member in Norfolk Island, and what we will start doing is we'll start segmenting all the data, that if any transaction that occurs anywhere in the world where Norfolk Island or a resident or a member of Norfolk Island is impacted or is going to financially benefit some way by that transaction, we will segment that data. And what we would ask is to speak to some of the businesses on Norfolk Island. It could be maybe the local coffee shop and a few businesses that are obviously supporters of ReaStew, and we'd ask if we couldn't put one of our big TV screens up on your wall, which is connected to the web, And what you're going to be able to do is we can live stream to Norfolk Island every single transaction that occurs around the world as far as it impacts the Norfolk Island financially. So what you're going to be able to do is drinking your coffee, you sit there, you see the screen occurring on the wall, and as the transactions around the world occur, if there's going to be any money coming through to Norfolk Island, you're going to see it coming through. So it could be a scenario where there may be a cat in Canada that's just been spayed. As a result of that spay taking place, ReaStew has earned a success fee because we've matched the buyer and seller. And it could be that that transaction is connected one way or another through 6 degrees of separation to somebody on Norfolk Island. The minute that happens, it means every time a cat is spayed in Canada, a part of that money comes through to Norfolk Island. And when you finish the cats, there's a lot of cats around the world. What about the dogs? There's a lot of different items of consumption that could take place. So you have a scenario where you've gone and taken Norfolk Island and made Norfolk Island the export capital of the world, because you've exported consumption without having to go and manufacture the product yourself on the island. So the fact that a cat has just been spayed in Canada would financially impact on the island, because money is going to flow through to the island. Now, what we have done as part of a special program with Norfolk Island is that, apart from the channeling of the money that's coming to the island, and the money will be substantial, and again, I don't know how long it'll take, but you know, the internet moves pretty fast when a new idea takes hold. But as that money starts coming through, we specifically are going to, we've amended our terms and conditions that a portion of that money that's coming through to the island is going to be specifically hived off and put to one side and presented to the community of Norfolk Island for you guys to start reinvesting in any of your infrastructure projects that need attention. And again, I won't have to go into too much detail on that, because we all know what the situation is on the island. But what we are saying is, by first and foremost working with all our colleagues while they're on the island today and over this next few days, by you guys working together to go and create this portal where we're going to be able to give you great communication, what you're really doing is creating one of the biggest export markets the world has ever seen. And you're going to find that Norfolk Island has now become the center of the universe. Well and truly, financially, it's going to be astounding the amount of money that I believe is going to flow through. Now, I did some sort of modeling. The current per capita income on the island is about 26,000 US dollars a year, with some very sort of basic modeling based on the transactions that I believe will take place. Again, I don't know the longevity of this, but based on that, we believe the per capita income would relatively quickly go up to 36,000 US dollars a year per family. Now, if you can imagine the 400 families each receiving through the ReaStew portal over a period of time an extra $10,000 per year in terms of disposable income. Now, you know, 400 families at $10,000 more per year is a lot of money. The natural effect of that would be that you would now go and use that money to naturally sort of make extensions to the house. There's going to naturally be an opportunity to sort of live a bit better than it has been. I know it's been a struggle for a lot of you guys, but it's going to be an opportunity to live a bit better on the island. And that in itself will have a snowball effect, because you're now creating job opportunities, and there is what they're known as the circulation of money. From a macro point of view, money will start circulating, and as the money starts circulating, because there's predictability on it, it will in itself go and create a revenue stream for the island. It will increase the tax collection of the island, and you're going to find that you get a balance in your books very, very quickly. And again, that empowers you. So by working together as a community, and by working together with us as a group of people that are on the island to work with you on ReaStew now, we believe we have the solution. Now, over the next few days, you have the opportunity to work with Fiona and the team. The intention would be to implement the solution as we have it at the moment, and then sort of go for what we call a more of a hard launch and run about mid-November. But at this point in time, we're just going to work together. So use this opportunity. I like to believe that we've addressed the main things in this video now, but use this opportunity to work together with my colleagues. We are very much a work in progress, but saying that, we're not a startup. We've been going for 6 years now. We are growing, and all I can say is thank you for the opportunity. I believe that this is destiny that we've come together, and I look forward to the opportunity to meeting everybody in Norfolk Island when I personally come there in February next year with my wife, and we then have an opportunity to address the Small Islands Forum, which is going to take place on the island. And again, thank you very much, and have a lovely day, a lovely week, and I look forward to seeing you all in February.